Hi, good evening, guys. Good evening. So I, you all are good, doing great. So first of all, guys, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir, audible.
Perfect, fantastic. So I'll be keeping your mics off right now. So please keep your mics off. And once we have the questions, you can raise your hand and we will open the mics. Okay, so right now we are putting off all the mics for everyone. So, the people will be joining in between and there should not be a disturbance, right? Okay, and then at the end, we'll have the questions and we'll be, opening the mics of everyone. So no problem at all. So today is the second module of our cardiac series. Cardiac series 2. Okay, the module 2 and the class 2 today. So as we all know, in this series, we are going to talk about arrhythmias and we are going to talk about different abnormalities of, cardiac conduction system. So before understanding the diseases, before understanding the problems, let's start with the basics. So today I'm going to discuss the very basic thing, that is anatomy and physiology. That is the conduction system. So you all must know what is the conduction system and how it works. Right, guys? How it works. So you guys can write or you guys can actually speak and tell me what do you understand by conduction system and what is your understanding about cardiac conduction system. Please speak if anyone knows. Please speak about that and please write if someone knows, then we can discuss further from my side. Yes, guys. What do you understand by cardiac conduction system? Anyone? No, Anushka. Route of blood flow is circulation system. Route of blood flow is called circulation system. Okay? Not conduction system. Yes, Liana, it is the electrical pathway through our heart and it conducts the impulses, right? Electrophysiology of the heart. Muscle cells, contraction, relaxation of the heart. Muscle cells, okay, rise in the heart wall. Perfect. Okay, SA and AV. Okay, sounds cool. The autonomic electrical system or activity of the heart that coordinates the muscle contraction and relaxation. Perfect, guys. Okay, so hi everyone from the YouTube as well. So you also can guys answer. I'm seeing your answers. I'm seeing your chat in the another device, my iPad. So you guys also can answer and you guys also can ask the questions live from me, right, guys? Perfect. So your answers are correct, right? There are some parts that is the so let me tell you the basic difference between our circulation system and conduction system. Very basic, so you will understand. You all will understand the difference, and then we'll dig into the deep. Right? I'm sitting in the house. You all know, right? You are sitting in your houses, some cafes, somewhere, wherever you are taking the classes, some rooms, maybe. So there are two systems in the houses. One is water supply system, one is electrical system. How the power passes to different rooms or different chambers of your room or different like kitchen or maybe to your washroom, to your dining room, to your hall, to your wherever other chambers of the house. Similarly, there is a water system which will supply the water to your washroom, kitchen, and different parts of the house. So similarly, our heart, okay, heart is a chamber. There are two separate but dependent to each other, okay, dependent to each other, two system. different systems. One is circulatory system, one is circulation, that another is conduction system. So what is circulatory system? Which actually, drives the blood to the different chambers of the heart and different chambers or different parts of the body as well, right? Different parts of the body as well. That is called circulation system. Another thing is conduction system. Usually in the heart, the conduction system is which moves the impulses. There are the nerves, muscles, and the cells which moves the impulses from one place to another place in the heart, right? And those impulses usually cause the contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles, and that's how your heartbeat generates. Okay, that's how your heartbeat generates. Single heartbeat based on the relaxation and contraction, and that is completely depending on your conduction system of the heart, right? So we have to understand the anatomy and physiology. Am I not audible, guys? Someone is writing I'm not audible. Please write if I'm not audible, guys. Audible. Okay, thank you. So let me share my screen, guys. So I hope it is visible to all of you. I hope you can see my slides, guys. Right? Cardiology S2, arrhythmia, and then cardiovascular anatomy, conduction system. Perfect. Full screen? Yes. Okay, great. So guys, today we are going to discuss about cardiac anatomy, the conduction system especially. So let me go to the next slide. So today we are going to discuss about the heart. First, normally the anatomy of heart, then the anatomy of conduction system, then the description of different parts of the conduction system, different sections of the conduction system, and then we'll be talking about the cardiac cycle. Okay, and steps in the conduction system. Then we will be talking about the pathophysiology of the conduction system, and then electrocardiogram, ECG, and then I'll be taking your question answers. Got it? So here, look at this. The first thing is heart. For the newcomers or for the new people who are not having the complete anatomy of the heart in their mind, right? So basically you all know there are 4 chambers in the heart, right? From the very basic, there are 4 chambers in the heart. One is right atrium. Another thing in the right side is right ventricle. And then if we come to the left side, there is left atrium and left ventricle. There are 4 major chambers in the heart. One is right ventricle, right atrium. It starts with the right atrium, right ventricle, and then left atrium and left ventricle. Okay. So let me show you one by one. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 chambers. Okay. This is right atrium. This entire chamber is right atrium. Okay. This entire chamber is right atrium, and then it opens to right ventricle. Okay, this is right ventricle. This entire chamber is right ventricle. Then the next chamber is left atrium. This is left atrium, and this is left ventricle. Okay, this is left ventricle. Now I will tell you the sequence of blood flow, how the blood flows in the heart and from your body and into your body. So first of all, deoxygenated blood, also known as impure blood or blood with carbon dioxide and other impure gases or other waste materials, right? It will come from the vena cava. We all know that veins and arteries. So veins are the vessels which collect the blood from the different parts of the body and bring it to the heart. Veins, right? Veins collect the blood, impure deoxygenated blood from the different parts or sections of the body and bring it to the heart. So it comes to the largest vein of the body, that is superior vena cava, and from the superior vena cava it enters to the right atrium. Am I right or wrong, guys? Am I right? So it enters to the right atrium, right? And from the right atrium, it goes to the right ventricle. From the right atrium, it goes to the right ventricle, and right ventricle pumps that deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Okay, so the difference between veins and arteries, you all know that veins collects all the deoxygenated blood, and arteries, they collects all the pure oxygenated blood and circulate it to the different parts. Take it away from the heart. But in case of the connection between heart and lung, there is opposite. Okay, these things are totally working opposite to each other. Like here, when we talk about the impure blood which is going from right ventricle to the lungs, that is going through the pulmonary arteries. Right pulmonary artery takes the blood to the right side lung, and left pulmonary artery takes the blood to the left side lung. There are two pulmonary arteries, to each side, okay, usually to each side, and two pulmonary veins. So here the responsibility is just opposite. Okay, why deoxygenated blood and why we are calling the artery and deoxygenated blood? Because see, of course, this is taking the blood away from the heart to the lungs. That's why we are calling it artery, irrespective of the type of blood it is carrying, right? So usually in the heart, your arteries carry the oxygenated blood, but in case of when it is transferring from heart to lung, arteries carry the deoxygenated blood, and that blood goes to the lungs. In lungs, it is purified because we are taking oxygen through our breath and other nutritional supplements from the breath itself, from the air, and it goes to the lungs and purify the blood in our sacs, okay, in our lungs. And when it is purified, it goes back, the blood goes back to the heart through pulmonary veins. Again, veins are bringing the blood to the heart, but this time when it is coming from lungs to the heart, it is purified blood, not impure or not deoxygenated. This time between the lungs and the heart, the blood is pure and oxygenated, right? So now from the lungs, the pulmonary veins will collect the blood and will carry to the left atrium, not the right atrium. Right atrium is taking the blood which is coming from the entire body. Left atrium is taking the blood which is coming from the lungs, right? Right ventricle was pushing the blood to the lungs through pulmonary arteries, and pulmonary veins are bringing the oxygenated blood from the lungs to to the left atrium. And now from the left atrium, blood will go to the left ventricle. This is purified oxygenated blood, right? And from the left ventricle, it will go to the aorta, ascending aorta, which is the largest or biggest artery of the human body. Okay, This is the biggest artery which is coming out of the heart, which is carrying the almost entire blood and circulating it to the different parts of the body. Understand, guys? The aorta. So the flow is, look at this. Impure deoxygenated blood is coming through the superior vena cava to the right atrium, going to right ventricle from the right atrium, and then through the pulmonary artery it is going to the lungs. From lungs it is going to the through the left or right pulmonary artery, it is coming to the left atrium, and from the left atrium it is going to the left ventricle, which is oxygenated blood. So left side of the heart is always having the purified oxygenated blood. Right side of the heart is carrying or containing the deoxygenated blood. Right, guys? And from the left ventricle, it goes to the aorta. And aorta here, if you look at the aorta, aorta is a brachiocephalic artery, common carotid artery, it is going to the different parts of the body. That is the circulatory system. That is the circulatory system of the body. And that is the usual sequence or blood flow in the heart. You can see here in the chart also, blood flow enters in the heart from vena cava, going to the right atrium and then right ventricle, then going to the left and right pulmonary arteries to the lungs, and then from the lungs, right or left pulmonary veins are getting to the left atrium, from left atrium to left ventricle, and then from left ventricle to aorta, and then body, systemic circulation. Right. Now, I'll come to the conduction system. Now, here only I'll describe some more things. So this is, as I told, right atrium. This is opening to the right ventricle, and the opening, there are the valves which are called as tricuspid valve or right atrioventricular valve. Okay, atrioventricular because these are between the atrium and ventricle, right atrioventricular. And there are three flaps or three cusps in the valve. There are the three small, I'll say, the windows. So the entire gate, entire valve is having three windows. So these all three windows collectively called as tricuspid valve. Okay, this is maintaining the flow from atrium to ventricle and stopping the backflow from ventricle to atrium. Similarly, when the blood goes from the ventricle to the pulmonary artery, that is stopped or maintained by pulmonary valves. Okay. Similarly, when it is coming from left atrium to left atrium to left ventricle, there are mitral valve, two leaflets, two flaps, okay, two windows. This is called as mitral valve. Okay, left atrioventricular valve. Right, guys? So I hope you understand that. Now, look at this. This is called as valve or septum of the heart. Septum is usually called when the wall is coming between the chambers. Okay, and outside septum is known as wall only, heart wall. Okay, but if it is between the chambers, then it is known as septum. So there is the septum between left atrium and right atrium. There is a septum between left ventricle and right ventricle, left ventricle and right ventricle. This is septum. Okay, this is also septum between ventricles. This is the septum. This is the septum between atriums, left atrium and right atrium. Try to understand everything because everything is connected very well. So once you understand the heart, we can understand the conduction system very well, easily. Let's go to the conduction system. Cardiac conduction system. So cardiac conduction system. Slide. Okay, so cardiac conduction system. Cardiac conduction system is nothing but this is the organization, or we can say the group of different muscular cells, different muscles, cells, and nerves. Okay, the entire conduction system is made of the small nerves and cardiac muscles, muscular cells. Okay, these are specialized in flowing the impulse, in exchanging the impulse from one to other. Okay, and these are found in the heart walls or the septums. These muscle cells send the signals to the rest of the heart muscles, causing the contraction. As I told you, these are the specialized cells or nerves which flow the signals or which pass on the signals from one to each. These are specialized in sending the messages. These are the messenger cells from one section to another section. It starts from the aorta, right atrium, and then it circulates to the entire heart. From the right atrium to the entire heart. And this is just by the connections of the cells, network of the cells, the nerves. Okay, we usually call them the nerves, the the chain or the complex system of the cells which pass on the signals. We call them nerves, right? So the main part of this system, conduction system, are SA node, sinoatrial node, then AV node, atrioventricular node, then bundle of His, right? And then bundle branches of this bundle of His, or that is also known as atrioventricular bundle, and then Purkinje's fibers. Okay, so there are two types of cells which controls the heartbeat, entire heartbeat contraction. First is conducting cells. Conducting cells means the nerves, directly the nerves, which carry the signals through the entire conduction system and deliver that signal or message to the muscle cells. Muscle cells means which actually participate in the contraction and relaxation of the wall. Okay, two types of muscles are involved here. Two types of cells are involved here. One is nerve, which pass on the signal from each one to other. That is called conduction system, total conduction system. And conduction system pass on the message to the muscles, heart wall muscles. And those muscular cells get into the action and either relax the wall or contract the wall. Usually this is about the contraction. Cardiac conduction system activates for the contraction, and it prepares the entire heartbeat. It create the entire heartbeat, and that entire heartbeat, one heartbeat, the entire circle of creating the heartbeat is known as cardiac cycle. Okay, the entire cycle of the steps is known as the cardiac cycle. So how it start and how it, look at this, you'll understand here. So the entire action here in the conduction system can be understood by this figure, and you can understand how it goes. So this is the pacemaker of the heart, also known as sinoatrial node. Okay, this is the main thing from where all the impulses are generated. This is the center, this is the first center from where the impulses are generated. This is known as pacemaker of the heart. See, in case of bradycardias and other other arrhythmias, what usually happens, we keep the artificial pacemaker, we implant the pacemaker. When we implant the pacemaker, in case of this automatic pacemaker is not working, or this is dysfunctioned, okay, there is any problem in this pacemaker or the conduction system, then we keep the artificial pacemaker from outside, and we keep the leads of pacemaker to the different chambers of the heart to create or generate or circulate the impulses. So let's not go to the artificial pacemaker right now. Let's focus on the permanent pacemaker in the heart, which is automatically already existed or existing in the heart. Okay, so this is sinoatrial node. Okay, this is only generating all the impulses. So usually these impulses circulates in the atrium, the right atrium. This sinoatrial node is located at the upper side, of the apex. I mean, of the apex of the right atrium, and from here it is generating the impulses. These impulses through the nerves, only through the nerves in right atrium, these are circulating or spinning. Here the word spinning is correct. Okay, this sinoatrial node is generating the impulses, and these impulses are spinning throughout the right atrium. Okay, throughout the right atrium means the wall, not the inside, but in the wall of right atrium. And these are also, when it is spinning in the wall of right atrium, means these are creating contraction of the atrium, not only right atrium but the left atrium, because these are sharing walls. These two chambers are sharing one wall, right? That is the septum between both the atrium, left atrium and right atrium. Understand, guys? So here, when the impulses are generated from sinoatrial node, these are spinning in the wall of atrium and creating or resulting into the contraction of atrium. So when contraction of atrium wall happens, actually what happens? When the atriums are contracted or atrium walls are contracted, means the blood flows outside. These walls are pushing the blood from atriums to the respected chamber. Respected chambers means from right atrium to right ventricle, from left atrium to left ventricle. Right? Understand the responsibility and the work and the workflow. Sinoatrial node is generating the impulses. These impulses, this is the first step I'm telling, guys. Okay, impulses are spinning in the wall of atrium and contracting both the atriums because sharing wall is there. Now when these are spinning, these are going to the second node, that is also known as atrioventricular node. Why it is called as atrioventricular node? This is not in the chamber. If you see the location looks like in the chamber, but this is not in the chamber. This is in the wall of the dividation. There is a divide between ventricles and atrium. So at the top of the divide, okay, top of the division of the wall, this node is located. This node, the atrioventricular node, is located at the top of the division of this wall between ventricles and atrium. Understand, it's very important location also. So this is catching all the impulses which are spinning in the atrium wall. This atrioventricular node is catching all the impulses which are flowing in the wall, which are circulating in the wall of atrium. Okay, it is coming to the atrioventricular node. And here what happens? This node delays the this node delays the impulses for a fraction of second, like 10th part of the second, 1 out of 10, right? Like 6 to 7 milliseconds. This node delays this. Remember this, guys. This node delays the impulses for 6 milliseconds, 6 to 7 milliseconds. So the entire atrium is emptying. or the entire atrium is vacant with the blood and entire blood is in now ventricles. This delay is just to empty or to vacant the atriums. So the entire blood goes to the ventricles. Okay. Now these impulses from the atrioventricular node goes to the atrioventricular bundle. Okay, these are the bundle. Why one bundle? Because here there are many nerves which are segregated to carry the impulses to different parts of the heart. So here it has become a bundle of nerves, bundle of cells, right? Like there is a suppose there is a suppose electric what we say hydel or from we are getting the electricity to the entire city. So they are sending in multiple cables together, and they're binding all the cables and making the bundle of the cables. So this is a bundle of the cells, bundle of the nerves which are carrying the impulses to the different parts of the heart, right? So this main bundle, till the division of the main bundle is called as atrioventricular bundle, and then it is dividing into the branches, bundle branches. Okay, these are called bundle branches, and these are carrying the impulses to the left side and right side of the heart. So the bundle branches which are going to the left side are called as left bundle branches, which are going to the right side are called as right bundle branches. And you must have heard of, when you are in the clinics, when you are in the hospitals, when you are in the cardiology department, you must have seen the patient has come from left bundle branch block, right bundle branch block, complete heart block, first degree heart block, second degree heart block. So what are those degrees? First degree heart block, second degree heart block, bundle, the complete heart block, right bundle branch block, left bundle branch block. So here you can understand the actual location and the pathology, like the dysfunction of this conduction system. Right bundle branch block means this bundle of the nerves has been dysfunctioned or broken or damaged by any reason, maybe the toxic substances, maybe the injury, maybe the weakness, maybe hormonal disbalances, maybe strain, anything. So this branch of bundles has been damaged, and it is not passing the impulse properly to the right side, and it is affecting the right chamber of the heart, which is right ventricle, and the proper amount of blood is not able to go to the lungs. So right bundle branch block affects the circulation or pushing of the blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. Left bundle branch blocks are quite tough because it is stopping the blood or stopping the circulation of the blood from the left ventricle to the body. Okay, so the damage of the impulses, damage of this bundle in the right side or left side is divided into left branch bundle block or right branch bundle block. Understand, guys? So now after the bundles, when it goes to the muscles, when this is the final delivery system of conduction system, if I'm talking about the final delivery system, final message delivering, final impulse delivery to the wall or to the muscles of the heart wall, that small nerves or the end nerves and cells are known as fibers, Purkinje's fibers. Right, guys? Purkinje's fibers. Okay, those Purkinje's fibers are everywhere. In the left side bundles, large side bundles, in the middle septums, middle connections, everywhere these are the end fibers. These are the fibers which actually connects these nerves or impulses to the muscular cells. And which actually delivers the masses or impulses to the muscular cells, and those cells actually act on contraction, right? So now sinoatrial node is generating the impulses, causing the contraction of atriums, and then these are going to the atrioventricular node. Atrioventricular node is delaying the signals for fraction of second, that is like 1/10 of the second, maybe 6 to 7 milliseconds it is delaying the signals. So all the ventricles are getting emptied, getting emptying by the contraction, and the entire blood is in now ventricles. Now the impulses will take the fraction of second to go to the every section of the heart, and it is creating the contraction of ventricles. So the blood is going either to the lungs from right atrium or to the body from the left ventricle. Got it? So I hope you understood here. There are the 4 parts actually. One is sinoatrial node, which is also known as pacemaker of the heart, then atrioventricular node, then atrioventricular bundle, which is also known as the bundle of His, okay, bundle of His, then Purkinje's fibers, right? 4 major parts of the conduction system, okay, and it generates the things and cause the contraction. Now let's understand these parts one by one. Okay, so parts of the cardiac conduction system. First thing, sinoatrial node, right? Sinoatrial node. So sinoatrial node also refers to as the pacemaker of the heart. It coordinates the heart contractions, definitely. Located in the upper wall of the right atrium, as I told you, upper part of the right atrium, it generates the nerve impulses that travel throughout the heart wall and causing both arteries to contract. Both the arteries are contracting and emptying, right? And how this sinoatrial node is working? So this sinoatrial node is working based on our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It is controlled by our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, like how we think and how we work, how our body is exerted. Like suppose when you are sleeping, our parasympathetic nervous system is more activated, so we are in the resting phase, so our heartbeat will be slow, so our sinoatrial node will be slow down. When we are running or we are into the exercise or we are fighting with someone, in that case our sympathetic nervous will be activated and it will be hypering our SA node. So our heartbeat will be fast because impulses will be generated fast, right? So our autonomic nervous system controls how fast or slowly your SA node sends the electric signals or impulses. Understand, this SA node or the pacemaker of the heart is controlled by autonomic nervous system based on your activities. So this part of nervous that control your heart rate based on what you are doing. For example, your heart rate increases during your exercise, when you are exercising, and it slows down when you are asleep. Understand? I hope it is clear. So autonomic nervous system includes your sympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system also known as the flight or fight response. Fight or flight response means the exciting state always. Sympathetic nervous system activation means you are in the exciting state. It makes your SA node work faster, which increases your heart rate because SA node is generating the impulses very, very fast. But there is the opposite system that is called parasympathetic system, and that is always in the rest and digest response. Means this is making your SA node work slower and decreasing your heart rate, right guys? So I hope you understand the work and how it controls and how the sinoatrial node is working, right? Then the second thing, from the sinoatrial node to atrioventricular node, which was located at the right side of the partition division that divides the atria near to the bottom of right atrium, right? And that bottom of the right atrium, what I showed you, is also known as the triangle of Koch. Okay, triangle of Koch, because Koch was the scientist who discovered that. Okay, so this node is located at the almost end of the right atrium, at the division of the wall from that place. The wall is dividing the atriums and right atrium and left the right ventricle and left ventricle. Actually, this is the division of the wall, okay, where this atrioventricular node is located. And when the impulses are spinning in the wall of atrium, this is catching and delaying them. So here, look at this. When the impulses generated by the SA node reach the AV node, they are delayed for about 1/10 of a second, 6 to 7 milliseconds. Okay, this delay ensures that your atria are empty of blood before contraction stops, right? So it makes sure the atrioventricular node and the delay of the signals make sure that your atrium or atrias are completely empty. This atria, the atria are the upper chambers, definitely. They receive blood from your body and empty into the ventricle. So this is the task of the atriums. We know that. So second part of the conduction system is atrioventricular node, AV node. SA node to AV node. Now AV node to atrioventricular bundle, or also known as the bundle of His. So this is the branch of fiber, nerve cells, exactly the nerve cells that extends from your AV node. I mean the extension of AV node, the wires, right? The nerves, the bundle of nerves which is attaching to the AV node, okay, known as bundle of His. And this bundle of His is dividing into the left branch and right branch. So left branch sends the electric signals to the left ventricle through the Purkinje's fibers. Purkinje's fiber is the last connection of your conduction system. And the right branch bundle or right bundle branch sends the electric signals through the Purkinje's fibers to your right ventricle. Right. So here, look at this. The bundle of His or atrioventricular bundle, which is after the AV node, runs down the length of your interventricular septum. So between the right ventricle and the left ventricle, these are carrying the impulses to the downside apex of the heart. And then these are going to the different sides, like right side or the left side. Understand guys, right side and the left side. The structure that separates these things into right and left, right? So understand that what is bundle of His, what is atrioventricular bundle. And then it comes to the Purkinje's fibers. Purkinje's fibers are the branches of specialized nerve cells which are delivering the message from nerves to the muscles. From nerves to the muscles. These fibers extend from the atrioventricular bundle branches, like the bundle branches, to the left and right ventricle. Purkinje's fibers rapidly relay the cardiac impulses to the myocardium. Means these are relaying the impulses, means the electric signals to the muscles of the heart valve, right? And then causing the contraction of both your ventricles. Causing the contraction of both your ventricles. As they contract, blood flows from your right ventricle to your pulmonary arteries, and blood flows from your left ventricle to your aorta. And the entire system which has been, or the entire cycle which has been started from the SA node, completes here. and the entire cycle is known as cardiac cycle. Right, guys? I hope you understand that. So again, look at this. This is the frontal image of the heart. So here they have shown even more precisely. See, this is SA node. This is SA node generating the impulses, and these impulses are spinning through the atriums. Okay, these impulses are spinning through the atriums, making sure that atriums are contracting and emptying into the ventricles, right? Signals are reaching to the AV node, and then these signals are traveling through your bundle of His or atrioventricular bundles to the left and right side of the branches, and at the end Purkinje's fibers. These Purkinje's fibers are delivering our signals to the muscles of the heart wall and making these ventricles contract. And once the ventricles are contracting, they are delivering the blood to the lungs or to the body parts. Understand, guys? So here you can see this is the connection division where it is located. There is a wall. This is the wall only. This is like just to show they are showing the pulmonary artery and the right ventricle, but there is a wall which is covering that, and this bundle of His is connecting this and dividing in the septum. This is the septum between right atrium and left, right ventricle and left ventricle, right ventricle and left ventricle. And here, from here, it divides this bundle also into two parts: right bundle branch, left bundle branch. So I hope you are clear here, guys. If you are clear, please write. Are you clear here till now, guys? Are you clear here? Okay, great. Thank you. So now we'll go to the next thing, like signal circulation. Signal circulation, I mean, we understood in the last slides, but here look at this. This is the signal circulation chart. It starts from the sinoatrial node pacemaker and spinning to the left atrium and right atrium. Then from the pacemaker through the internodal bundles and fibers. Internodal bundles and fibers means spinning through the wall. So definitely spinning through what? Wall means inside the wall also there is this, the network of the nerves, network of the signal pathways, right? Inside the atrium wall also there is a signal pathway. So through that pathway, these signals are going to the AV node, and AV node is delaying those signals, not symptoms, signals, and then this is delivering those signals to the right side and left side by this bundle branches and Purkinje's fibers, right? The left bundle branches, right bundle branches, right? So right bundle branches and left bundle branches, these are subendocardial branches. Subendocardial branches means these are in the endocardium, like the septum, which is lying between the two chambers, So signal circulation is also, I hope, clear here. Yeah, these are also called as Batchman bundles. Yeah, I think I have written in the past slides also. So I think yeah, somewhere I have written, or maybe not. Yeah, these are also known as Batchman's bundles. Okay, these are also known as Batchman's bundle. I mean the these fibers. Okay, so I hope understand. You guys understood till now. And then now cardiac conduction and cardiac cycle also is clear. So you might be wondered in the starting, like how our heart is beating. So your heart beats as a result of the generation and conduction of the electric impulses, and these are the steps of cardiac cycle, which I have already described. Step 1 is pacemaker impulse generation, means impulses are generated by the pacemaker or SA node. Then these are traveling to the AV node, and AV node is conducting these signals to the AV bundle, and AV bundles in the right and left side are sending these impulses to the Purkinje's fibers in step 4, and then from Purkinje's fibers these are going to the muscles. Okay, and then muscles are contracting, right? Left ventricle and right ventricle. Atrium impulses are generated in the first step only. Atriums are contacted by the first steps only. From the fourth step, only ventricles are contracting. That means blood is circulating out of the heart. Okay, blood is pumping to the outside of the heart, whether to the lungs or to the body parts. In the first step, atrium is sending the blood to the ventricles inside the heart. Remember this, okay? So cardiac conduction can be influenced by various factors, as I told you initially, including exercises, temperatures, maybe your endocrine system hormones, maybe toxic substances, or there are certain regions, drugs, this cycle or the cardiac conduction system could be influenced by the multiple parameters, multiple factors, right? This can be divided by the multiple factors, right? This can be affected by the multiple factors. So now what is the exact pathophysiology? Let's understand the cycle in the cell, not the cycle overall. Let's understand what is the cycle going on inside the cell, how it generates the impulse from 1 to 2, the entire heartbeat in the cells. Okay, so myocardial action potential curve. This is myocardial action potential curve. Okay, ventricular action potential curve, right? It is describing the electric activity of 5 phases. Okay, this occurs in the atrium and interventricular myocytes and Purkinje's fibers. These are the activities occurring in the cells, particular cells. And this activity is throughout the conduction system. This activity is going on throughout the conduction system. Purkinje's fibers, bundle of His, bundle branches, nodes, because everywhere there are the nerves or the cells. So how it starts? It starts with phase 0, then it goes to the phase 1 and 2, and then it comes down to the 3 and 4. So how actually it happens? How the cell works, how the cell physiology works here. See, suppose there is the phase 1. Cell is in the relaxed state. Cell is in the relaxed state. Now sodium ions will enter into the cell and it will generate the rapid depolarization, because sodium ions are the strongest ions inside the cell mitochondrium. Okay, inside the mitochondrium, Na ion means the sodium ions are entering into the cell and these are creating rapid depolarization. Okay, that is called phase 1. And you can see 0 phase is just for the depolarization, sudden depolarization. Okay, and then when it comes to the phase 1, means when sodium is going inside, sodium ions are going inside, potassium ions are coming out from the cell. Why it is happening? Do you know? Because to maintain the environment inside the cell, to maintain the hemodynamics inside the cell, when sodium goes inside, potassium will come outside. Because there is a certain limit of positive ions. There should be a certain limit or certain amount of positive ions inside the cell, right? So when suddenly sodium ion enters, sodium ions are entering to the cell, potassium ions, start coming out. Potassium ions are known for repolarization. Repolarization means the depolarization means sudden contraction. Okay, and then this phase 1 is early rapid repolarization, means this is the rapid but not that fast as the phase 0 depolarization. The speed of repolarization means coming to the relaxation state. It is the start of relaxation state. Understand, this is the start of relaxation state, but not as fast as the contraction was, the depolarization, when the sodium was entering. So sodium entered suddenly, the lot of sodium, and then potassium leaves the cell slowly. So the repolarization state comes. And in the phase 2, along with the sodium, when potassium is coming out, potassium starts coming out, then to maintain the environment, calcium also starts entering to the cell, just to maintain the hemodynamics. Okay, when the calcium start entering, calcium is kind of neutral substance here. Calcium ions are not exactly neutral, but kind of maintaining the plateau, maintaining the repolarization phase. Maintaining the depolarization phase, maintaining the contraction means the delay. You understand the delay? So these calcium ions are entering to the cell and maintaining the plateau. Okay, so the phase 2 is known as plateau phase. First phase, zero phase, is known as rapid depolarization, when sodium entered suddenly to the cell. To maintain the hemodynamics, potassium is coming out. So start of repolarization or relaxation. But suddenly then when to maintain the hemodynamics of potassium, calcium enters to the cell and it maintains the plateau for some time, and then suddenly entire potassium pumped out of the cell. So cells are repolarized completely. Repolarized means the relaxed state. That is called final rapid repolarization. Final rapid repolarization, phase 3. Cells are completely relaxed. Then now again the sodium and potassium will come out. Sodium and calcium will come out and potassium will start going in. Potassium will start entering, and then the cycle starts again. Once the potassium is in, again sodium will enter and create the same cycle of repolarization and depolarization. So is it clear, guys? Phase 0, potassium is full in the cell. Cell is in the relaxed state, complete relaxed state. Suddenly the sodium will go into the cell and make it depolarized, means suddenly exciting state, suddenly the depolarized state, suddenly the contraction state. Okay, so when sodium is a lot inside the cell, potassium will start coming out, and then calcium, to maintain the hemodynamics, again calcium will start going in. It will maintain the plateau. That's why phase 2 is known as plateau. Phase 1 is early rapid repolarization. Potassium leaves the cell. After plateau, the remaining potassium will be completely pumped out of the cell, and that phase is known as rapid repolarization. Final rapid repolarization, phase 3, and cell is again coming to the resting state slowly. So once the potassium is completely out, then again potassium will start going in to maintain the hemodynamics, and sodium and calcium will be coming out. I hope it is understood, guys. Hemodynamics maintenance, myocardium, inside the myocardium, maintaining the hemodynamics inside the cell. Otherwise cell functions will be affected. So to maintain the hemodynamics inside the cell, this cycle goes on. Okay. Yes, Harina, these curves are same on the entire region of the heart or slightly changed. No, see, these are the different things. Here we are talking about the conduction system, but these plateaus are also changed. When we take the ECG changes are different in the different areas of the heart. Apex, there will be slight low. Okay, anterior side of the heart, the impulses will be very high. This plateau will be very high because from here only all the impulses are generated, from the top of right atrium, and till it is going to the Purkinje's fiber or the apex of the heart, these impulses will slow down. So these plateau or this curve will be changed. You know, the curve will be changed at different sections of the heart. Like at the anterior side, it will be high. At the lower side or the apex side of the heart, it will be low. Okay, so I hope you understood that physiology part, guys. Repolarization and depolarization, clear? Okay, now, thank you. So now I'll come to the ECG. Just to show you the normal ECG, how it shows and how it works, how it is showing the repolarization and depolarization. So it starts from the P wave. This is the P wave. This is the normal P wave, which is phase 1. Okay. Then from after P, it starts from the Q, the slow depolarization. Then this is the entire QRS segment, the sudden repolarization, and goes to the depolarization again here. STs are, I mean, the T wave. If there is another U wave, that could be due to the potassium levels. It shows the potassium, the deficiency or the high potassium in the blood. If you are getting the U wave also after T wave, because it again, it shows the different phase, the phase 6th. It will show the phase 6th, the extended repolarization or depolarization. If it is down, then repolarization, and if it is up, then depolarization. Okay, so it starts from here. Let's understand. Usually this is the normal means the P wave will be upward. So let's not go to the depolarization, repolarization. Let's understand the ECG waves here, and then we'll understand by the repolarization and depolarization. So here, this is a normal P wave upward, and then the Q wave will be slight downward, and the R will be certain, the rapid depolarization here, and not depolarization, actually the rapid extension to the upward, and then it will go a slide down, the S and the ST segment will be completely flat, the plateau, and then it will come to the T wave. Okay, T wave is which is finally K potassium is coming out, right? If the potassium levels are high, then it will show the extended wave, one more wave, U wave here, right? So usually in the normal, T wave is upward, ST segment is little downward here, ST. Okay, I mean ST segment is flat, but this S wave is little downward, R is at the top, and P also is upward. This is the normal ECG. So this is P wave starts, and from here to here, from P to R. Okay, this is R. So this is called as PR interval. This is called as PR segment, and this entire complex from RQS, it is called QRS complex. Okay, and then the segment, the flat segment between S wave and T is known as ST segment. Okay, then after T and P, from where we get the new cycle is known as TP segment. Okay, and then again the cycle starts, the same PQRST, right guys? So that's how it goes on. Now let's see what's there. So the electrical activities occurred during depolarization and repolarization transmitted through the electrodes attached. When we are taking the ECG, so this ECG is completely showing the depolarization and repolarization states from the different parts of the heart and the body, and this is transformed into the waveform in the ECG machine. Okay, ECG is converting those signals into the waveforms, right? Like whenever depolarization and repolarization is there, it is converting those depolarization and all the phases into the waveforms, right? So P wave indicates the arterial depolarization. Okay, atrial depolarization, and QRS wave shows the ventricular depolarization. Ventricular depolarization means the ventricular contraction, and P wave shows atrial depolarization means atrial contraction. The first stage Remember that phase 1 was phase 0 and 1, right? Phase 0 and 1, depolarization, QRS complex, ventricular depolarization, the last stage, right? So ST segment indicates the phase 2 of the action potential. The absolute refractory phase means the plateau phase. ST segment is the plateau phase, right? This is flat, as we have seen here. You know, this ST segment is the flat plateau state. Okay, QT interval is there could be another contraction of the ventricles, which is mechanical, right? And as I told you, U wave could be caused by, sorry, not hyperkalemia guys, hypokalemia, when there is a potassium deficiency. Okay, U wave are caused by potassium deficiency, because potassium will not go to the heart, the cells, the nerve cells. Why it is not, I'll tell you here. So when there is a deficiency of potassium, if you go to the last phase, phase 4, that was again early depolarization here, slow depolarization here, not early depolarization, slow depolarization here, when potassium started going inside. When there is no potassium in the body or low concentration of the potassium in our circulation, what happens? It will not be starting right away. Okay, first it will stay here again for some plateau state, and it will create one more or extended repolarization that will be shown in the form of U wave, the repolarization. This phase will be extended. Final rapid repolarization will be extended here in the form of U wave, and then the slow repolarization will start. The next phase, the next cycle, right? So this U wave will be somewhere between phase 3 and phase 4. See, this is the early, see, P wave is rapid depolarization. Now understand easily. P wave is rapid depolarization. Okay, then this is the QRS segment is early rapid repolarization, and then phase 2 ST segment plateau is early segment, and then T wave final repolarization. U wave is extended repolarization because there is less potassium, and then the phase 4 will start after U if there is a potassium deficiency. Otherwise this is the normal phases. These are the normal phases, guys. Okay, and then there is a QT prolongation also. So QT prolongation shows some more delay in ventricular repolarization. Okay, depolarization in the as I was telling you, QRS complex is also depolarization, but this is repolarization for the ventricular part, ventricular repolarization, QTS, right? QTS is depolarization there, phase 1, but that is ventricular repolarization. Okay, so when QT prolongation is there, then ventricular repolarization is also delayed, and QTS, this QT will be prolonged, right? Here if you see normally QT, this QT is not extended, but in case of the drugs are causing QT prolongation, here usually this is in the milliseconds. This is like around 130 milliseconds. Okay, if it is more than 130 milliseconds, that is because of some other drugs, and it needs the pacemaker or some other interventions like ICDs. Okay, so QT prolongation can cause ventricular repolarization. Okay, and that is also known as ventricular tachycardias. Extended or excessive QT prolongation can predispose to myocardium and cause torsade de pointe. This is another type of arrhythmia. I'll tell you that. Okay, this is the condition. So there are some medications which can cause the QT prolongation. I just added. Otherwise, this will be taken in the next classes also. So like macrolides and the fluoroquinolones and giprazidone and quinidines or toconamide, amidarones. These are the drugs which can cause the QT prolongation. Right, guys? So that's all for today's class, and rest we will be discussing in the next classes. As today, I was here to discuss the anatomy of conduction system, and that's all for today. So you can shoot up your questions now. If you have any kind of questions, please ask. Thank you very much. I hope you liked the class and you understood the anatomy. And the cycle. Temperature is the first thing which affects the hemodynamics inside the cell. Temperature affects the hemodynamics inside the cell, and it starts the movement of ions inside the cell. No, last slide I'll share in the next class. Last slide is about the drugs and about the types of heart failure that we will be discussing in the next class. Okay. Okay, Aryan. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Does altitude affect the conduction system? Very nice question. Actually, altitude does not affect the conduction system, but altitude affect the other systems of the body, including your hemodynamics. Again, the temperature, and when the oxygenation is not pure, because at the high altitudes, your what we say, your blood will not be purified because of less concentration of the oxygen. Okay, that will definitely affect the systems, that will definitely affect your sympathetic nervous system to compensate for the oxygen in the body, and that can definitely raise your heartbeat, that can definitely raise your or that can definitely excite your sinoatrial node, okay, SA nodes. So definitely high altitudes are not good for SA nodes and people with arrhythmias, because there is the concentration of oxygen which is very less, and in that case to compensate the oxygen, the speed of sympathetic nervous system will will increase definitely if the sympathetic nervous system is activated. So it will activate the sinoatrial node also to pump the blood, or to pump, or to contract the heart rigorously, and in that case definitely conduction system will be affected. Okay, Manshi is asking, shouldn't calcium ions increase the electric potential? Usually it is, but calcium channel ions, calcium ions are quite neutral here in that case. Potassium and sodiums are highly responsible for the hemodynamics inside the cell in conduction system. Triangle of Koch, Bhavya Jain is asking about the triangle of Koch. So triangle of Koch is nothing. Triangle of Koch is like the division of your heart sections. Sections means there is the right atrium, and at the end of right atrium there is a division which divides actually the right atrium from the left atrium and the left ventricle from the downside, upper side from the downside. There are four chambers, two up, two down. Upper chambers are left atrium and right atrium, and down chambers are the right ventricle and left ventricle. So this is the division. The Koch triangle is the division between right atrium and right ventricle and left ventricle, right? From there you will, at that triangle only this atrioventricle node is located. Okay, at that point only the atrioventricle node is located, and from there only this bundle of his, or atrioventricular bundle, is generated, or the connecting the AV node, and then it is dividing into the left and right bundle blocks, the bundle branches. And that triangle, the center from where these three chambers are actually separated, is called as triangle of Koch. Calcium deficiency, if it is highly deficient, then definitely it will affect the ECG. Electrolytes, of course, affect the conduction system. Electrolytes means what? Electrolytes means calcium, potassium, sodium, this chlorine ions. Definitely, because all the ions, all the electrolytes are the main part of conduction system. Not the conduction system indirectly, but the maintaining the hemodynamics inside the cells. Oh, how anesthesia will affect the conduction system? Anesthesia, I am not sure, guys. I am not sure really. I did not read this topic yet, frankly. But anesthesias are usually not to affect the conduction system, but these are for the senses. Okay, I'll read that and come back. How the anesthesia is affecting the conduction system. Okay. Okay, so guys, thank you very much, and we'll be seeing you in the next class with some more exciting topics. Okay, thank you very much and take care, guys. See you. Bye. Good night.